Let's take a look at how to attach the TMR mixer to the tractor. Position the mixer feeder straight behind the tractor. Make sure the wagon is level to prevent feed moving to the lowest point of the mixer and accumulating there. A level mixer feeder makes it easier for the feed to move through the mixing vessel and for the auger knives to cut a textured product and ensure better mixing. A weighing system is essential to determine the correct rationing. The standard weighing system comes with a Trioliet 2810V weighing indicator, which shows the total weight. Programmable models with a wider range of options are also available. The auger knives need to be kept in good condition. Sharp knives ensure better cutting, better mixing and less power usage. This makes the mixer last longer and saves on fuel. Regular checks on knife sharpness are recommended. Here's a comparison of a new auger knife and a worn auger knife. The edges of the used knife are clearly blunt. This knife can no longer process the feed properly. For the best mix, we recommend checking the auger knives on a regular basis. The timing of the augers is also important for optimum mixing performance. The augers should be positioned at 60 degrees to one another to ensure a good feed mix. The knife positions on the auger are also important for a well-mixed ration. The position requirements for assembled auger knives depend on the ration and the TMR mixer model. We assume a ration with short grass by default. In that case, short knives are installed at the following positions: 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. The maximum number of knives that can be installed in each auger depends on the machine model. Use one or more long knives if the ration consists of long materials such as grass from a loader wagon or round bales. In this case, always ensure a long knife is assembled right behind the auger wing. Here this is position 3, but it can also be position 4 depending on the mixer type. Long knives should never be positioned immediately above the auger wing. A second long knife should be positioned directly opposite the first one, as shown here in position 1. A third long knife may be necessary for extremely long forage. In this case, the long knives should be distributed evenly around the auger, in positions 1, 3 and 5 for example. Remember that extra auger knives will affect the tractor's power consumption. A long knife will consume an average 3 to 5 horsepower more than a short knife. For long feeds such as hay or straw, we recommend using counter knives. Counter knives improve the cutting performance of the TMR mixer. Remember, this is only the case with long feed components. Using counter knives for short, chopped feed could have a negative effect on the mixing result. During loading, always try to position the TMR mixer feeder as close as possible to the silo pit to reduce the driving distance from the loader and limit any feed loss due to spillage. Make sure the mixer feeder wagon is level. Feed loss can also be prevented by proper silage extraction. By using equipment with a cutting knife, you will not affect the feed structure. You will also leave the clamp behind with a clean, closed surface. This prevents silage from heating up and retains the quality of the feed. Wind, rain and snow will also have less impact on the silage quality. For a good mixing result, it is important to load the various feed components in specific order. This video shows a sample ration, but the general rule is from long and dry to short and wet. So straw and hay first, followed by grass, cereals, minerals and proteins. Then wet byproducts, like brewer's grain or beet pulp, then corn silage, and finally possibly water or other liquids. Components that need more cutting, such as round or square bales, should be loaded first. Make sure the feed is loaded in the center of the mixer feeder wagon between the augers. This guarantees rapid distribution. Creating a premix in advance saves time, improves loading accuracy, and allows the concentrates to be more evenly distributed among the other feed components. Water can be added for better adhesion between dry particles and rough ingredients. This avoids feed selection by the cows. A spray bar is recommended to distribute water evenly across the entire ration. The TMR mixer feeder can be filled up to 10 centimeters or 4 inches below the edge. Overloading the mixer feeder wagon has a negative impact on mixing time and mixing quality. Proper management of the tractor power requirements and the mixer feeder wagon's auger speed will improve the mixing result and save fuel. To achieve the best mixing results, the PTO speed should be at least 400 RPM with a 540 RPM driveline, or 750 RPM for 1000 RPM drivelines. To process and mix silage or other rough feed components, we advise a high auger speed of around 31 RPM until the material is separated. To mix in the other components, you can reduce the RPM in the augers to around 23. When using a reduction gearbox, it is important to load in high gear so the augers are running fast enough to process the feed. The feed loosens up easily at a higher auger speed. If your tractor does not have enough power to handle the load, the reduction gearbox can be shifted back to a lower gear during loading. The reduction gearbox can only be shifted when the PTO is switched off. A Shiftronic automatic reduction gearbox enables shifting while the PTO is running. The auger speed will automatically adjust based on a previously set loading weight. When all the components have been loaded, it is important to take enough time to mix before starting discharge. This sample ration requires final mixing for at least 3 and at most 5 minutes at 23 auger RPM. With a manual reduction gearbox, shift to a lower gear to make it easier to start up. The driving speed and the height of the discharge door should be closely controlled to ensure a consistent discharge. Try not to drive over the feed with the wheels from the tractor or mixer feeder. When the TMR mixer feeder is 2/3 empty, we recommend switching to a higher gear and increasing the engine RPM to maximum speed to completely empty the TMR mixing vessel. With a Shiftronic gearbox, this will be controlled automatically. The mixing quality of the discharged feed can be tested with a particle separator. Your nutritionist can help you with this. The TMR mixer should be maintained on a regular basis to ensure optimal mixing performance and a long service life. Check the oil level of the gearboxes regularly. Change the oil after the first 500 operating hours if using a driveline running at 540 RPM, and after the first 200 hours if using a driveline running at 1000 RPM. Please consult the user manual. Lubricate the auger's glide bearings while the augers are turning. 8 strokes from the grease gun every 20 operating hours. Regularly grease the mixer feeder wagon's PTO shaft. The interval depends on the type of mixer feeder and PTO. Please consult the manual for the appropriate intervals. Make sure the tractor is turned off. The accuracy of the weighing system should be checked regularly. If the weight on the indicator is no longer accurate, please contact your local dealer or distributor. Check the tire pressure regularly. The required pressure depends on the type of tire, the machine, and the conditions of the farmyard. Please consult the user manual. For a smooth and even discharge, the discharge unit must be kept in good condition. Regular checks are recommended. Check the cross conveyor belt for misalignment or feed buildup underneath the belt every 2 weeks. The user manual shows instructions on the required tension and cleaning. For more information on the use and maintenance of your TMR mixer feeder, please read the user manual or contact your Trioliet dealer. As you can see, you can have a significant effect on mix quality. With only minor adjustments, you can achieve great results from your TMR mixer feeder. This will make your farm more efficient, and of course, the cows will show you the real results.